I'm Missy, and of course, as you know, this is Misi in the City. Misi in the City basically entails me going around doing the things that I do and doing a lot of the things that I'm very passionate about. I'm passionate about interviewing people, meeting new people. I'm passionate about beauty and skin and health and food. And of course, I'm most passionate about my babies. So what you're gonna get from this is I'm gonna be talking about the multifaceted aspects of my life on a daily basis. Every single day is gonna have a different subject matter. Today's Monday, so we'll be talking about mummies and babies. So let me just start off with, since 2013, I pretty much disappeared off the scene. I haven't really been going out because I decided to immerse myself into the whole marriage thing. And of course, I had my first child in 2014. I fell pregnant 4 months after I got pregnant, 4 months after I got married. And the one thing that I have said to people when people ask me what that first experience was like is that I said it happened to me. I felt like it was an out-of-body alien experience because I had no clue what was happening to me. I was very confused. I had the most severe mood swings ever. That anything small would literally set me off. The smallest things would scare me. I would get very emotional. I suffered immensely from pregnancy brain, whereby the simplest thing would be sent to me, an email would be sent to me, and I'd be sitting there for hours just sort of staring at it, thinking, what is this and how am I supposed to get through this? And then I'd start crying because I'm freaking out. And I then made the mistake, well, it was a mistake for me. I used to watch birth videos. They freaked me the hell out. So I'd be sitting in my office and literally would just be bawling and crying and then thinking to myself, how do people do this? This is absolute torture, because when you watch things like that, they are absolute torture. But I must say, I have 2 secret weapons that helped me through it. First of all, well, not exactly 2 secret weapons, I'll say 3. First of all, I can't remember how it was that we clicked. A friend of mine, Amaka Agbakoba, I just happened to be speaking to her, or maybe I was speaking to another friend who then, got me in touch with her. I can't remember how we got together. And she said that there's a group of girlfriends that she has who everybody's pretty much has had babies around the same time. And let's set up this group and let's talk about whatever it is that's going on. It was an absolute lifesaver. And what did we call it? Yummy Mummy's Snapback, because everybody had had their babies and everybody was all about, okay, now we need to snap back to what we were before we got, pregnant, before we had our babies, before we were overeating and, moaning and sighing about the dilemma of having children. Now, like I said earlier on, when I was pregnant, it was really up and down and all over the place. It was an immense ride. It was an out-of-body experience, an alien out-of-body experience. But at the end of the day, I have my beautiful son, so I'm absolutely over the moon about it. It's totally worth it because the miracle that you get at the end of your journey is the most amazing thing. Now, I'm gonna give you guys some tips because here's the thing. Alex, I got him down to sleeping throughout the night at 6 weeks. That's one of the things that freaks me out the most. I'm not so much like, I must sleep. I'm good to wake up early. I'm good to go to bed late, but due to my choice, not because there's a baby crying and I'm gonna be cranky or I'm gonna be irritable because I haven't had enough sleep. But if I make the choice to say I haven't had enough sleep, then that's fine. So I want to share with you 2 of my biggest secrets. Well, they're not secrets. Well, I'm sharing with you at the end of the day. So here's the thing. Now, while I was pregnant, I used this book. Every single mother should have this book, right? What to expect when you're expecting. You need this book because everything that you experience that you have no clue about, everything you're confused about, all you need to do is just go to the index, because there's nowhere you're going to be reading it from the beginning all the way to the end. Just go to the index and actually just look through it. Look at this one, eating and drinking during labor. No, I did not do that. Or can you Kegel, right? you ladies know what the Kegel is when you're trying to get your hoo-ha back to shape right after you've had the baby? Or can you Kegel during pregnancy? You know, and it's all different sections. It's absolutely amazing. This is by Heidi Murkoff and Sharon Mazel. So it's an amazing book, and it goes through before you conceive, are you pregnant, your pregnancy profile. I didn't do all of this. I really didn't. So, and then it takes you, the most amazing thing, it actually takes you through the pregnancy month by month, and it tells you how big your baby is, what you should be expecting at this period of time. Everybody's absolutely different. I didn't have any morning sickness. I had terrible night sweats, whereby I'd wake up in the morning and it was as if somebody had just poured a bucket of water over me. And that's what happened with me. So I was extremely hot, which, yeah, okay, that's fine. In comparison, I've heard people having morning sickness throughout their pregnancy, maybe, you know, for the first couple of months, then in the second trimester they're fine, and then the third trimester it starts up again. My one experience of what it could have been like, because here, we're in Nigeria obviously, and they say to you, you should take anti-malaria pills. So the doctor prescribed me anti-malaria pills, and when he did, I took them, and I felt so nauseous. I immediately went back to him. I was like, I can't take this. And that, for me, was my one experience of morning sickness. And I thought to myself, is this what it feels like? I'm so thankful that I actually did not have to go through that, whether it was my first trimester, second trimester, or the third trimester. It was just something I knew I wouldn't have been able to deal with. Well, I would have had to deal with it, but thank God I didn't. Now, this helped me throughout the pregnancy, whereby it's telling me, you know, from month to month and whatnot and stuff. But let me tell you what helped me to get Alex to sleep, because I was doing a lot of research. And it's funny how I was just doing research and I wanted to find out. I went on Google and I said, okay, I need to find out I'm sure some people somewhere in the world, there's some old wives' tales or something like that, how, you know, you can get your baby to sleep at a very, you know, early stage. And then I Googled and Googled and Googled, and then I heard that French women from like about a month and a half to 3 months, they can get their babies to sleep throughout the night. I was like, say what now? So I Googled and I Googled some more, okay? And then, you know, I found it. And then I ordered it off Amazon. And Amazon does deliver to Lagos. And I went to the post office and I picked it up. And this is the book. It's a book about, she's an American woman, Pamela Druckerman. She's an American woman. She moves to France with her husband, and of course she gets pregnant there. And her experience with the French mothers is totally different that she's actually experienced with American mothers, because they're very much like, the child is an individual. Stop coddling your child. Your child from birth can think for himself or herself and make their choices. You are there to guide the child, not to, you know, be overbearing and whatnot. So the book is called Bringing Up Vivid. This is a freaking lifesaver. I've got to tell you. Just get on Amazon, order it, read it, because it's not just instructions to say, oh, this is what you do and this is what you do. It's actually a story. And she tells you the story about them moving to France and then them bringing up their baby and then the baby being born. Her experiences that she has with the different mothers. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know I'm just, if I turn around and you'll say, oh, but what's the secret, basically? Okay, I'll give it to you this way. But I still think you should really, 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 really read this book, right? Because for me, it was a lifesaver. But the you know, just the gist of the matter is this. Every individual, for example, as you are right now, you sleep. In the middle of the night, you wake up, sort of just open your eyes, you shift, you turn over, you go back to sleep. You wake up again, once or twice, you turn over, you go back to sleep. Maybe it's the REM state, or you're going from one stage to the other, you know, going from gear 1 to gear 2, or whatever the situation may be. At the same period of time that we as adults are doing that, babies are doing that as well. But what we usually do, which I know that I did, when Alex was born, I had a camera, and monitors. I had 4. Was it 4? Yeah. I had 4. 1 in each, no, 2 in his cot, 1 in each corner by his head, and then by his feet. And then 1 outside the cot, sort of like looking into the cot, and then there was another one in the room, basically. So any movement that he made, I was there in a heartbeat. So literally, I wasn't sleeping anyway. Whenever he was sleeping, I wasn't sleeping. So it's the sort of thing where our natural instinct, as soon as the baby's moving, or you hear or this, or anything at all, you get up and you go pick up the baby. But there's sometimes when the baby is just sort of just moving around and getting comfortable and whatnot, leave the baby alone so that the baby can adjust. Because here's what happens. The minute you pick that child up the first time, and the child knows, oh, if I make this noise, mommy's gonna pick me up. That child's gonna make that noise the next day knowing that mommy's gonna pick me up. Okay, if I make this noise and mommy's gonna pick me up, mommy's gonna, give me food. And then it continues. And then mommy's gonna give me food. And then, oh, it's time to play. And oh, I'm not gonna go to sleep. And it just keeps on happening and happening and happening. And then you have your baby that's not sleeping throughout the night. I'm breaking it down, and it's very sort of like general, but you really should get this book and you really should read it, because in very many different stories and things and experiences that she has, she tells you exactly what she did. She tells you about the other French women and how their approach helped her have her child sleep throughout the night. And I can actually say and testify that it actually helped me as well. I got Alex sleeping throughout the night at 6 weeks. That's a month and a half. Micah at 3 months. So really, I don't play about with my sleep. As of right now, my boys go to bed at 7 o'clock and they wake up between 6 and 6:30. And that's new, because they used to wake up at like 5 a.m. or 5:30. That's not a problem. I don't have a problem waking up early. But my goodness, I know now, for example, if one of them wakes up in the middle of the night, I know something's wrong. Either they didn't have enough for dinner, and then, Alex wakes up, maybe he's hungry. If Micah wakes up in the middle of the night, he's hot, because he likes the room really, really cool. So it's all these little things that I am absolutely going to love sharing with you. And it's just going to be a very exciting journey, an exciting ride. I've lined up a couple of interviews with regards to mothers and babies and what is happening in the industry. Mackie Benson is obviously coming out with her new book, which is pretty exciting, because it's also one of the most difficult things to be able to do, is to being creative enough and creating different meals for your babies on a constant basis, because kids are super fussy. Okay? And for those of you who don't have kids, kids are super fussy. You have to have a calming element around you. When your kids begin to act up, you need to learn how to walk away. You need to learn how to vent elsewhere, because if you don't, you can do a lot of damage to your children, because they will drive you up the wall. Motherhood is not a bed of roses. You cannot just be sitting and be like, oh my God, I love my children so much. No. I love my children, but my goodness, they can literally drive you up the wall. I'm being very serious. Alex is 28 months now. He's been having terrible twos since he was a year and a half. Do they tell you that it's going to start that early? Well, sometimes they do, but at the end of the day. Oh, by the way, this book, right? There's, I have the first year and the second year, okay? I have all the books. And if there's the third year, I'm gonna go out and get that as well. But I think I pretty much know what's going on now, right? But yeah, this is the thing. You just need to keep on going and going and going. It's just one thing after the other, but they're the most amazing things in the world, and different mothers have different experiences. I'll go more in depth into my experience when I have Alex, at a later date. But we're just starting off. We're just getting to know each other. I can't just be spilling all my tea just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll be interviewing different people because I really want to know as much as I can. Now I have to say this though. I heard the most amazing news today because this constantly just reassures me that God exists on a constant basis, because the miracles that the Lord performs on a constant, daily, momentarily basis. I don't even know if that's a word, okay? Don't judge me. Sometimes the English will, tapo and all that good stuff. But the thing is, on a constant basis, every single moment of our lives, the Lord is performing miracles. I had an interview with somebody last year when I was pregnant with Micah. And today I heard the most amazing news. I'm not going to say any more about it until she's ready to be interviewed. It's the most amazing, miraculous news that you could ever hear in the world. And the thing is, I think on a daily basis, we should always try, because right now we're going through a lot of shit with this recession. It's I think what it's doing to a lot of people is it's pushing us and it's making us more resilient. And a lot of people is like, I don't want to be resilient. I'm okay the way I am. Why do I need to be resilient? But the thing is, that's what this recession is doing to us. We all need to survive, and we're making things work, and it's causing strain on, it could be causing strain on marriages, it could be causing strain on families, it's causing lots of strains everywhere. But at the end of the day, what we must continue to strive to do is to survive. Another thing that I want this vlog to be about is about empowerment. Empowerment, especially for the female child, for the woman. The reason why, and I'm not excluding the men, but the reason why, we as women will always say, let's stick together, let's be side by side, let's push on through and, pull each other up as we're moving up in the world, that sort of thing, is because we need it. We need to support one another. And men just have it easy. Well, I won't say men have it easy, because one thing we shouldn't forget is that men are human beings as well, and they also have feelings. But the thing is, you guys have it easier than we do, because you're just put on this earth and already you're entitled and everything gets laid out for you. Especially, look, let's even think about it, just the Nigerian man on its own. I mean, let's not start to talk, okay fine, we might as well talk about how what our very darling president said the other day, that took everybody back, and literally took us back. So I know for a fact that a lot of women have a lot to say about it. Some people vary in opinion. I was part of a discussion the other day, which I found to be very impressive, because women were discussing this issue about what the president had said, and then we're discussing his wife, and different opinions were voiced, and the way the discussion, it would never warrant the word argument. The way this discussion was carried out was so eloquent, it was amazing. And I just found it very admirable that I believe that group of women were able to reach that stage whereby we were eloquently discussing various views on a subject matter. I just found that to be amazing. I find a lot of things amazing, but yes, it was amazing because it was quite a feat for us to accomplish, because, things have happened in the past. But at the end of the day, everybody's very much about, women's rights and this and that, and this is how we should move forward, and this is how we should do things, and this is how we should do that, and whatnot, and the other. But then today, I have to say this. I read a post, because I follow somebody on Facebook. His name is KB Davis, and he made a comment, and I want to read that comment to you guys, and then basically at the same time also read the comment to you, and then also share with you somebody who actually made a comment on his post. Okay, so in the comment, this is what he said. He said, okay, here we go. He said, let me see. He says this. Okay. here. Just give me a second. My laptop is being super slow. Oh, Lord help me. Okay. So, he goes, most women hold the belief that a man should be the primary provider in the home, and he should take care of the woman financially, an archaic and ridiculous notion within the context of the equality debate. Yet these same women take great umbrage with the equally archaic notion that they belong in the kitchen or bedroom. Therein lies the hypocrisy of it all. The problem with stupid beliefs is that you cannot choose when to subscribe to them based on when it is convenient for you to do so. You either accept them all or reject them all. That will be true progress. Isn't that lovely that he's saying that, being that he's a man, right? And then when I don't appreciate him saying the problem with stupid beliefs is that you cannot choose when to subscribe to them based on when it is convenient for you to do so. So let me now tell you about a comment that was made on this post, which I found to be quite interesting. Okay, somebody first of all says, let me see here. There's a fella, George, who says, most married couples develop a shared understanding of who does what in their relationship. It is sometimes unspoken recognition of an inevitable division of labor and responsibilities. The current commonly agreed politically correct plan for marriage is an equal sharing of chores. Okay, and then that one goes on and on and on, basically. Okay, so this person, okay, Fela George again says, I agree the feminist rhetoric is good in theory, but does it work in real life? Are men trained, listen to this part, are men trained or brought up with these principles? Were we taught any of this in school? The answer is no, men are taught to be men. No woman wants an in-between man, feminist or not. One of the problems of men today is not knowing where they stand. The role of the provider is the safest one for a real man to follow. The others are theories. Okay. Here's the thing. Another person says, Obi Bamadeli says, I think the umbrage most women feel is because whilst they might hold the benefit that a man should be a primary provider, it is not their reality. Yet the archaic notion that they belong in the kitchen still stands. Statistics show a very high proportion of dual earner households with both contributing financially. Therefore, holding a belief is not same thing as reality. And even if the argument is that the woman contributes only 30% and the man 70%, the principle fails to apply in the kitchen. I say the above, yet I don't fall into the category of most women. Okay, right, okay, so that obviously is just something that's just going to go on and on and on. But here's my point here. Everybody's sort of pissed off about what the president said. People have different views and opinions on whether his wife should have said anything out to him in public. A lot of people thought that maybe it had to do with the fact that they were having a tiff, or that maybe she had campaigned with him and then he's forgotten her when it comes to putting her people into government, how he doesn't know anybody that's in his government apart from maybe 5 out of 50 people. There are varying opinions on the subject matter. Now my thing is this. That point where KB Davis says, oh, people believe that the man should do this, but then that's archaic, but at the same time, they'll say things like, oh, your money is, my money is my money, your money is our money. I'm gonna give you an example. I grew up in a household where my father took care of everything, right? And that's the example of a man that I grew up with, right? My husband grew up in a different household, right? Everybody grows up differently. Everybody has different ideals. So when a married couple comes together, they need to sit down and figure out where they're going and how they're doing things. In this day and age, most households, and I say that very loosely, most households are 2-income earner households. Whether it's both of them going out, maybe one's working a full-time job, the other has business on the side, or it's vice versa. Whoever it may be, whether it's the male or the female, who's the sole, who's the chief, earner in the house. But what is the point that I'm actually making? I don't know. I'm gonna have to edit this. The thing is this, men have a role, women have a role. Whatever their role may be, each individual actually decides in their household, between themselves, what role do I actually take in this marriage? What role do I actually, what role do I take up in this marriage? What role do I, in this marriage, what's my role? What do I do? What do you do? What do we do as a collective? That's what's supposed to happen in a marriage. I don't think it happens a lot in a lot of marriages. Or maybe one goes into a marriage with expectations to say, this is what I believe you should be doing because this is the way I was brought up and this is what I'm used to. Do a lot of people have discussions? Do a lot of people before they get married say to themselves, what are our ideals? How many children do we want? Where do we want to be in 5 years? Where do we want to be in 10 years? What is our plan? What are our objectives? What do we hope to achieve so that we may provide for our children? What do we want our children to do? How many people have those discussions? Seriously, think about it. I know a lot of people immediately are like, oh my God, I want to get married and that's just a thing, you know, and all that stuff. You need to have discussions. You need to have sit-down chats. You need to know the person that you're getting married to. You need to keep your eyes open, right? You just need to push away the clouds, yeah? The wedding, the ceremony is one day. The day after that, marriage begins, basically. And you need to know who you're getting married to. Because if you don't, oh my goodness, you are in for a roller coaster ride of your lifetime. Because it's just going to be one thing after the other. Just when you think it's okay, then you go up and then you go down. And then you go sideways and then you go the other way. And you go upside down. You got to take a deep breath. You got to know exactly what it is that you want to do, and you have to take your time to achieve what it is that you want to do. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but I think you sort of get the gist of what I'm talking about. Open your eyes. Don't just want to get married. Know who you're getting married to. Know what kind of situation you're getting into. Be observant. See everything that is around you. Watch him. Watch her. Keep your eyes peeled and say and know, I can handle this. I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with that. If you're not okay with something, sit down, have a discussion about it. If he or she doesn't want to discuss it and he or she wants to push it under the carpet, my dear, your carpet is going to have a bump. And then it's going to grow into a hill. And then it's going to grow into a mountain. And then once it gets to there, what's going to happen? You're just going to fall off and be like, yeah, well, you know what? I tried. Whether you tried, whether you didn't, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying, okay, Misi In The City is just going to be talking about a lot. I started off talking about babies. Now I'm talking about marriage. Yes, it's Monday. That's what we do on Mondays. We talk about babies. We talk about motherhood. We talk about marriage. That's what we do. Okay, so this is my first entry. I talked enough as it is, so I'm just gonna say ciao, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please leave a comment down below, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Okay, bye.